The night sky above the luxury orbital station shimmered with rings of rotating lights as guests arrived for the annual gala, hosted by one of the richest men in the quadrant. The station floated high above a blue and green planet, a place known for its technology and its flourishing interstellar trade routes. Inside the grand hall, 1,000 dignitaries gathered under crystal channels that reflected soft glows of starlight. They had come from distant colonies and research fleets, each determined to impress, influence, or be influenced by the powerful figures who ruled industries and alliances. Among the guests stood a young woman named Lyra. She wore a simple dark dress with no jewels or shimmering accessories. Her posture was calm, and her movements quiet as she followed the station workers through the backstage corridors. She was not a guest of honor. She was not even invited to the event as a performer. She had come as an assistant to the station's maintenance crew because they needed help clearing a set of crates near the music area. She held a small tool bag in her hand and kept her gaze low out of respect for the high-class environment around her. Music drifted through the air as a group of performers rehearsed on the stage. The grand piano, shaped from a rare alloy that captured light from every angle, stood at the center. It was a model known across the quadrant as nearly impossible to master due to its enhanced sensitivity and its capacity to respond to emotional resonance. Only a few renowned musicians could play it without triggering misaligned harmonics. Tonight one of those masters had been scheduled to perform. Yet rumors whispered that the performer had fallen ill on the transport flight dot as station workers rushed around in a panic. The host of the gala entered with a stride of authority. He was known across industries for his wealth and reputation as a ruthless negotiator. Many called him a tycoon with an iron vision. His suits were tailored from rare materials, and his voice always carried an edge of command. He paused as he saw Lyra standing near the piano while she waited for instructions. He raised a sharp brow and gave a laugh that echoed loudly. He tapped his cane lightly on the stage floor. He seemed amused by the sight of someone in simple attire near the prized instrument. His words were loud enough that several guests turned to listen. So the maintenance crew now wanders near my top-tier equipment. Does someone like you even know what this is? That instrument is worth more than everything in this station's lower decks combined. Be careful not to leave fingerprints. Lyra bowed her head politely. I am only waiting for direction on which crates to move. The tycoon looked her over with amusement and disbelief. His tone dripped with sarcasm. Crates, yes, work that suits you. Leave the piano to people who matter. Some guests chuckled. Others looked on with discomfort. Yet none dared speak against the powerful man. One of the station workers whispered that the performer still had not arrived. Another said the diagnostic sensors detected slight misalignment in the piano's resonance channels. The tycoon snapped his fingers impatiently and demanded the staff fix the issue. His irritation grew. He needed the performance to impress the investors gathered in the hall. Without music, the gala would lose its elegance. A soft voice came from Lyra. If allowed, I can check the alignment settings. The tycoon laughed again. You, a maintenance assistant. What would you know about a resonance piano? I doubt you can even read the calibration screen. Lyra maintained her respectful tone. I learned the interface model during my time at the Cultural Academy on my home world. I assisted the technicians there. The tycoon waved a dismissive hand. You are not touching that piano. I will not have it damaged by someone who likely has never played a single note on a real instrument. A few workers looked at Lyra with sympathetic eyes. Others stood frozen. They knew better than to challenge the host. Before the tycoon could continue, a sound technician hurried toward him with panic in his voice. Sir, the soundboard is producing unstable waves. Without recalibration, the device cannot be played. We need someone who knows the system. Otherwise, the performance segment of the gala must be canceled. The tycoon clenched his jaw. Investors began whispering among themselves. Some raised eyebrows in clear disappointment. He turned his sharp gaze to Lyra again. You claim to understand this system. If you break it, you will be removed from this station immediately. Do you still wish to try? Lyra nodded. Yes, sir. She walked to the piano with gentle movements and placed her hands above the interface panel. The moment her fingers touched the surface, a soft blue light formed beneath her skin. The technicians around her stared as she moved with confidence. She adjusted resonance channels, recalibrated the vibrational memory nodes, and matched the alignment of harmonic threads. It took only a few minutes before the unstable readings settled. The sound technician blinked. The readings are perfect. I have never seen anyone adjust them this quickly. The tycoon gave a reluctant grunt. At least that saves the evening. Lyra stepped back. She expected to be dismissed. Instead, the tycoon narrowed his eyes. You learned this at a cultural academy. Did they allow you to take lessons on such an instrument? Lyra hesitated. I was not permitted to take full lessons, sir. They allowed me to observe. When the hall was empty, I practiced on a training model. It is not the same as this one. He gave a smug smirk. Of course it is not. This is a master-level instrument designed for trained performers. Watching someone else play does not make you capable of performing. Do not confuse curiosity with talent, the guests murmured. Some seemed uneasy with the harsh tone directed at someone who had just repaired the piano. Others returned to their drinks and conversations as the technicians checked the stable readings again. A new issue soon emerged. The scheduled performer sent a message confirming they were too ill to travel. The tycoon's expression tightened with frustration. Unbelievable. A gala without music. My partners will think I have lost my touch. The station's event manager approached timidly. Sir, perhaps we can play a recorded piece. The tycoon growled under his breath. Recorded music at my event? Absolutely not. His cold gaze slid back to Lyra once more. A spark of mockery lit in his eyes. Since you seem so eager to be near this piano, why not entertain us? Play something. That should at least amuse the guests before the business discussions begin. Lyra blinked in surprise. Sir, I do not believe the guests expect a performance from me. He waved a hand with dismissive arrogance. I doubt they expect anything from you. Try not to break it. If the sound is too unpleasant, I will stop you. Some guests whispered with curiosity. Others snickered. A few watched with interest, wondering if the young assistant possessed any true ability at all. Lyra walked toward the bench. Her palms felt warm. Her heartbeat grew steady rather than nervous. She had touched many training models before, but this instrument was alive with energy. It responded to emotional clarity. It magnified every intention of the player. Only those with deep connection to music could control its voice. She sat quietly for a moment and inhaled. The hall grew calmer as people noticed her stillness. Her fingers hovered above the resonant keys. When she pressed the first note, the entire hall paused. A soft vibration shimmered through the air. The sound carried warmth, depth, and a strange clarity that touched the senses like a hidden memory. Lyra let the note fade before gliding into the next sequence. Her hands moved like flowing currents, guided by instinct and years of silent practice in dark, empty halls. Each note merged with another until a wave of harmonics filled the grand chamber. Guests froze. The snickering stopped. Heads turned toward the stage with disbelief. The instrument responded to Lyra as if it had been waiting for her. The keys glimmered with faint light as they resonated with her emotional field. She closed her eyes as her hands moved faster, shaping a melody no one had ever heard. It was not part of any known composition. It was something she had carried inside her since childhood. a mixture of longing and hope, a testament to the strength she found in solitude. As the melody expanded, holographic patterns formed above the piano. Lights twisted in shapes of galaxies and nebula flows. The music vibrated through the walls, creating gentle ripples of color that danced along the crystal channels in the ceiling. Gasps came from every direction. Some guests covered their mouths in amazement. Others leaned forward with eyes wide. A diplomat from a distant colony whispered that she had never heard such mastery, even from famed performers. A scientist murmured that the instrument had reached a resonance threshold rarely achieved. The Tycoon stood frozen, his expression unreadable. He had expected fumbling. He had expected wrong notes. Instead, he watched a display of genius unfold before him, a performance that no amount of money could purchase or force into existence. Lyra transitioned into a rising progression. The sound built like a star igniting. The patterns above the piano swirled faster. Her heart poured through every movement. She expressed every moment she had spent feeling overlooked, every silent hour she spent practicing alone, every dream she had hidden inside her because she believed no one would ever give her a chance to share it. When the final note struck, the hall fell into total silence. No one moved. No one breathed. The last vibration faded slowly, leaving the hall wrapped in a stillness that felt sacred. Then the applause erupted like thunder. Guests stood from their seats. Some cheered. Some clapped until their hands ached. The sound reverberated through the station. People looked at Lyra with astonishment and admiration. The Tycoon no longer had a smirk or look of superiority. His face showed shock mixed with something else. Respect, or perhaps realization of the mistake he had made. Lyra stood from the bench and bowed her head politely. She tried to step back, but several guests approached with praise. Diplomats congratulated her. Researchers asked how she learned to play with such precision. Investors asked if she had received formal training. She answered each humbly, insisting she had only practiced quietly whenever possible. The Tycoon approached last. He spoke in a quieter tone than before. "You have talent no one could deny. You made my event unforgettable. I did not expect such brilliance." Lyra gave a small nod. "Thank you, sir." He cleared his throat. "If you ever wish to perform professionally, I could arrange sponsorship. Your playing could inspire many." Lyra met his gaze with calm eyes. "I appreciate the offer. I will consider it." The night continued with guests eager to speak with her. The once overlooked assistant had become the center of attention. She was not dazzled by praise. She remained grounded. Yet she felt a new sense of possibility rising inside her. Her music had shown the hall something rare, something powerful, something human. Later, when the gala quieted, she returned to the piano alone. She placed her hand gently on its surface. The instrument glowed faintly in response. It recognized her now. It had shared something with her that few others would ever experience. The stars beyond the windows shimmered. The planet below turned with slow grace. Lyra stood with renewed confidence. She did not need to prove her worth to anyone. Her skill spoke for itself. Her journey had only begun. And across the hall, the guests still whispered about the moment. They witnessed a genius emerge from the shadows and leave the entire galaxy's elite speechless.